Hey everyone, Fatty from Pack a Punch Traders here. Just want to go over a couple trades from the morning and just review any lessons from the morning as well. Let's just jump into this. We got MNTS. This was my play of the day so far. I saw this up. It was, a little bit of a higher float. Not even a little bit. It is a higher float. So didn't really like that, but volume was coming in. It was doing 40. It was around like 40 million, I believe, around this point here. So it had some demand that I figured would push it higher. So once I saw this break through and failed to break down, sized in, got 700 shares, average of 412. And then we got the quick perk here, which I thought was going to continue higher. So this little fade here was a little stressful, but kept staying calm as there was no volume really forcing it down, and it was still holding up above the open price and still holding VWAP. Got a little breaking here, but not much. It then came right back, and then we got a quick perk. Got out right when it hit 462. Had my advanced order set. All I was looking for was 50 cents to get a quick move to the pre-market highs, maybe a little higher, which is exactly what happened. And that was kind of it, because we see here in the long-term chart, we got some solid resistance here in the mid-fours, right where pre-market highs line up. So I thought that area of resistance is going to be key. So instead of waiting for it to get to 5, I'm going to take it into the mid-fours and just lock in my gains there. So far, pretty good idea. It is still doing great volume, and it is holding VWAP and holding right around pre-market highs, having this solid trend here. And now it's still holding up on lighter volume, trying to make higher lows. I hesitate saying a high at daybreak just because I'm not a fan of the float. So this is going to be an ignore for me, but definitely looking strong for now. Unless we get some strong selling, then this could easily become a very key level of resistance and it just starts cracking lower. Because we did get this volume exhaustion here now that I really think about it. And from there, volume just totally faded. So we got stuffed into like a fake out, got retreated real quick. So we'll see what happens here, but it's kind of in between right now, bullish signals and bearish signals. And when there's conflicting indicators, I just kind of sit on the sidelines until it shows me something better. So that's MNTS for me today. Another great call from the watch list. Sbfm didn't trade this, but if you have the opportunity to, over the 780 previous high daybreak, right out of the watch list. Low float, been holding up nicely the past few days. It offered a solid move. Was choppy for sure, so definitely is battling. Which makes me think if this could continue to fail to break down here and it could come back for a $9 break, I think a break over this fake out could really squeeze out shorts. But didn't trade this, just had a good call on it. I go on Twitter here, kind of been alerting it. I know it says 600 here. That was a mistake of mine. It was actually 700. And then I'll get onto my loss with SST. What is that doing right now? SST, small loss on the day. Was really looking for this one to be a beautiful multi-day bounce. And it's just a choppy mover here, as we can see. And really what led me to be hesitant and only take a small starter at first and totally ignore this first morning spike here was the gap up. Usually with the multi-day bounce, the psychology with the play is you're trying to get a strong move from shorts covering, locking in their position after some solid fade way off the highs. So my thinking is when that happens pre-market, if we get shorts getting squeezed out at pre-market and that kind of messes up the move at the open because they all get out, as you can see here, there's a lot of covering going on. It's a lot of buying. That led me to think that the play was kind of dead. And that's why I only took a small little starter of 50 shares at 26.19 at the high daybreak. But then we got a quick move higher and it was just a fake out. Volume got exhausted, got stuffed, retreated volume. Kind kind of died after we got all this selling, but stayed patient. And then once we got to move back to 26, I was out. I was just ready to get out. I didn't really have hope in this play at that point, and was just looking for a bounce to sell into rather than sell into weakness, because it did show me that it was going to be holding a little bit here. So I thought maybe we'll get a bounce that I could sell into and minimize my losses. Just took it from 26.19 to 26, not even $10 loss. So I'm up a little over 340 bucks on the day. Not crazy, but consistent, and that's exciting. Just making money every day, and it adds up. Oh, ADN, that was one to look at. That was a disappointment to a lot of people. I think this thing held up nicely. Had a fake out breakout at the after hours here, and from there it was just fade. Couldn't really squeeze anyone out after that. This was a play of mine yesterday over the 350 breakout, the mid threes there, and 4 held as resistance, very strong. So when we failed to get that break here, it seemed like buyers just kind of faded away, and shorts got confident, and then it led to a massive gap down here. So that was a little disappointing. That's why I don't typically trade plays overnight. This would have been something that I probably would have traded a year. Okay, well, a year ago, it actually probably would have gapped up 30%, if we're being honest. But not in this market. In this market, I'm trading just intraday, sticking to my patterns, and ignoring any overnight holds, as I see them as a gamble nowadays. I just don't have the data on them. So yeah, let me go through what else is there. That SPFM. Did we? Yeah. This was that previous high at daybreak. Low flow. What am I missing? Nothing. I think that's it. SST is still holding up. It has reached percentage wise what I typically look for in my data. So this might be, if I do trade, it's going to be a very small size trade, as it's just going against my data essentially. They usually spike around 30%, 25-30% in that area, and it gave us the move percentage wise. So I see it as over and done with, especially with the volume kind of dying off now. But the thing with this play, as long as the trend is intact, shorts could continue to get squeezed. So just keep an eye on this. Just want to go over my trades, the loss on this one, and the nice move open price play on Mnts. And with this one, I wanted 1,000 shares at first, and then I realized how big the float was, and that made me a little uncomfortable. So I decided to minimize my position just by a little bit, just in case, and ended up working out. But just got to be cautious sometimes. And here we are with this thing, still trying to figure out what it wants to do. A little perk in volume, still holding up. But yeah, before I start rambling even more, that was the morning so far. I'll make another video lesson later, and we'll be live on Tradecaster here soon. One thing I do want to direct anyone watching to, actually, is yesterday I made a pretty good, it was a long video lesson. God, I can't type. This video right here, the latest video. This is, yes, an hour long, but I reviewed the watch list from the previous day, and then I've also gone through how we form our watch list, me and Jared. So I think that's a really good video lesson for anyone still new, wanting to see how we find our plays, how we approach them, the planning behind them. And this was made last night, and sorry, there's that. It was made last night, and then we got a decent call with SST. Didn't form the way I had wanted, but definitely from the watch list, looking for that bounce play. And then Sbfm as well, right on the watch list, looking for that previous high daybreak. And this ended up running a little over $1 from that level. So usually some good calls from the watch list. If you want to see how we find these great calls, check that video out. Um, and then the video right here below, two things. Part of it just going over how I set up my software, and more importantly, scanners. I go over that a little bit, not totally in depth, but I do go over one of my scanners, and I go over the criteria. So some two important video lessons for anyone watching. So yeah, please like and subscribe. Check out tradecaster.com if you wanted to see some live trading and live streams. There's a Q&A box there. We can always chat and answer your questions. And check out our Twitter at Pack-a-Punch Traders. Always posting the watch list there, updating it in the morning, putting alerts throughout the day, just to show our thought process throughout the day, how we would approach a play. So yeah, video lesson a little longer than I had wanted, but whatever. Hope everyone has a great morning, and I'll catch you guys later.